recording. Okay, right. Just 1 second. Okay, so MDM architecture. That is done. Now let's go through our next. We'll start with the data model and this tool introduction. First introduction to this tool, and then the creation of ORS. You have some idea on ORS, and when I create an ORS, then you will understand even more how it works, what exactly is an ORS. So first let's start with this tool introduction, and I'll very quickly since I'm going through the tool, I'll just tell you how you configure this tool so that you, for those who have not configured, they can configure it. So basically I will share a lot of materials, out of which you need to concentrate on Informatica MDM tool access this. Okay, so there is a document, this one, VPN login details.txt. If you open that, this contains instructions. Okay, basically I'll be in next 2-3 minutes I'll just tell you what it contains. What it says is basic, just install this hamachi.msi, next, finish. GRE also, next, finish. Simple steps. Once you install, then join the network as specified is readme.txt. So how do you join a network? To join a network, just go here and say join existing network. Give the ID that is specified in readme.txt. Once you have done that and clicked OK, then send me a mail or inform me. I will just approve it. Once I approve it, then you are inside the VPN. So like this, for example, you will be part of the VPN. After that, you can access anything that is there in the network. So Informatica tool, Informatica MDM tool, then the databases, stored, everything you can access. Okay, simple. So what you can see that in my case it is configured. Let's say I will just say go offline. So if I say go offline, now I am not in the network. Okay, I'm just outside the network. Now if I try to access the tool, I will not be able to access the tool. You can see here this link is not opening. Okay, so this should always be, when I say online, when I'm part of this, now this is green, right? So let me refresh. So it's opening. Okay, so you can open the tool from here, or you can just double click this file and open it. Does the same thing. Okay, then user ID password is mentioned. Anyway, this is admin user ID password always. Then just choose the ORS. As of now, just let's say ORS sample. Okay, so that's how you open the tool, admin user ID password. And once you've opened the tool, right, now let's check. Now first thing is, I already told you that when you are trying to log in, it'll ask you to choose a master database or ORS. I've explained what's a master database, what's a ORS. Today you will learn more, basically because from here to here, all the things that you do, that is master database, and from here to here it's the ORS database. Okay, now let's see. So if I click on databases, I'm getting a message. Okay, this tool can only be used with master database. Whereas if I click on schema, I can access. So just observe this area, just observe. This is ORS sample. It means I I have logged in an ORS, not master database. So I told you, right? From here to here, if you want to access, you must be in master, not ORS. So if I click, now you can see I am in the master database. So that is the reason why I can access, now I can access any of this tool. And the reason is because I am in master database. Okay. Now before jumping ahead, let's check this option. So there's nothing special. Exit, then relogin. Relogin is same as this one. This one. Okay, clicking this, or change password, or target database is same as clicking here. So that's the reason why normally we don't use this option here. Okay. Then this is specific to the tool. So if I click on repository manager, then this will show repository. If I click on message queues, then message queues. Specific to the tab. Then we have an important concept, write log. Write log is nothing but locking. So basically what it means is, you can see there are two things: acquire log, acquire exclusive log, release log, clear log. So first concentrate on these two things. These two are a combo. So you see, okay, then just give me 1 minute. Okay, it's fine. Now see, acquired log, and the reverse of acquired log is release log. Similarly, the equivalent reverse is this. What now? First of all, what is acquired log? Acquired log is, first try to understand that it's not any locking. You are not going to lock anything. So it's slightly misleading in itself, because you are not going to lock anything. The only thing that will happen is, so for example, see, observe this area. Can you see this area? If I try to click here, I cannot click. Okay, but if I go and say acquire log, see, I can click now. In fact, if you go and check any of this repository manager, let's say, go here, you see this thing, or this, or any of this, or let's say I go to databases, you see this four thing. I can add new databases or remove. Okay, because I have taken a log. If I don't take a log, then you can see that the plus minus symbol, all that is not there. So basically, what is acquired log? Acquired log means, by default, when you log in, by default, when you log in, you're put on read only mode. Clear? So when you log in, by default, Informatica lands you in a read only situation. So you can't change anything. So you see here, I try to click on something and I want to change this. You can see nothing is enabled here, as well as this is not enabled. This is not enabled. But if I take a log, then you see this is enabled. These options plus these options. Okay. So that's the meaning of acquire lock. Slightly misleading as such, but should not be difficult to understand. Okay. Now, can 1,000 users uh, acquire the lock parallelly? Yeah, millions of users can also acquire the lock at the same time because you're not locking anything as such. Okay. Now, what about actual lock? So it means this is not actual lock, right? Actual lock means locking tables, locking objects. So how is that controlled? That is controlled on the commit basis. So in MDM is mainly based on database. So if you have like Oracle database, let's say, then it uses the commit rollback rules of database. Okay. Now let's say two guys have connected, John, Satya. Let's say he has connected. Both are trying to change the party table. He is also trying to change the party table. Okay. So whose change will be considered? Simple. Let's say John does the change at 11:20, 10:20, let's say 10:20. So his change, and then he does the change in 10:22. First his change will be saved, then his change will be saved. Okay. We don't have complicated business here. Means we don't have version management, although it's not complicated thing, but it's needed for big implementations. So version management, or you say it as change management, multiple versions of the code, that's what it means. So that's something that is not there in this tool. In fact, you won't see version management in any MDM tool. So version management is something that you have to take care separately. Okay, can't do it here. Anyway, that's enough. Now let's jump into the configuration. In configuration, so it means that uh, this tool, whenever you log in, immediately take the log, because as a developer you will be definitely changing something. That's the reason why you are logging in. Okay, so that's why just take the log. Then the first tab is databases. Databases basically means registration of databases. So if you see here, you have one master database, then multiple ORS databases, right? So this databases shows you all the list of ORS databases, okay, and their configurations. So if I check this, then what is the database ID? What is the database source? Then the limit in real time. Then if production mode is enabled, what is production mode? If you enable production mode, then no one can take a acquire log. For example, I have, let's say, enabled this one, save it. Now I will go to log into this and I will try to take a log. It throws me an error. Okay, so basically if something is in production mode, you can't take any log. Simple logic. So let's remove that. Okay, then you can see there is something called as plus, minus, then this edit symbol that is used to add an ORS. You know what's a ORS? Somewhat you have some knowledge. Okay, so using these three things we can add, remove ORS, which we will see. Adding and removing ORS is not your job. That's a one-time job done by the admin or the Informatica guys, but we will see. Okay. probably today or tomorrow I will show you, then we'll talk about this. Now just as a information, if I log in, now what exactly is master database? I mean technically, if I jump into technical details, what exactly is master database? Um, Something like a database with some tables, isn't it? So that's correct. So this is like CMX system. Okay, so the username is CMX underscore system. That's the master database, and I can actually go ahead and see what it contains. And if I check it, I can see that it contains 59 tables. All of them are system tables. Okay, and you can see something interesting. Every table starts with C underscore repos, and you can see all these tables. Now, uh, is it? Can we see something interesting? Let's try. So C repos database. You know this. This is the same thing as this. Do you see? What do you see? How many entries are there? See how many entries? 18 entries are there. So you can, if you count, this is 18 total list. All right, and you can see the configurations, and all the configurations are stored in this table. So ultimately, you can see here I have localhost and 1, 2, 3 IP addresses, right? So you can see here 1, 2, 3 IP addresses. So basically whatever it is showing you here, that is nothing but whatever is present in this table. That's what you are seeing. Okay, right. So just information. So the way you have this table, right? C database. Similarly, you have other tables. We'll see.
Uh,
Now users.
Sunil,
Yeah,
I have one question, Sunil.
yeah,
Like, by default, the master database username is CMX underscore system,
yeah.
or it will be changed based on,
From
like
version 10
company to.
onwards, you can, no, normally it will not be changed. Normally it will always be like CMX underscore system because that is the default name. But starting from version 10 onwards, you can actually rename that CMX underscore system. You can give your own custom name. In earlier versions, you couldn't even rename, but now you can rename. Okay. But
Okay,
normally in companies, they will always 99% it will be CMX system only. They won't change it.
okay. And you told even one master database and one ORS. So in your system, there are n number of ORS
Because it's for
ORS
training
like this.
purpose. Okay, it's for training
Okay, okay,
purpose. That's why I have. But in your real time, you'll have only one ORS.
okay,
Okay. And
okay.
also
Thank you.
multiple ORSs will slow down the performance. But I have like done some tuning, so that's why you can see. But normally it's not advised to create that many 18 ORSs. Okay, now if I go to users, then I can see some users, some users. So what is the equivalent table for users? See here, C repos user. So I have 44 users. All right. If I drop a user, let's say this user, then can I expect 43 here? I can. Let me refresh. C repos user 43. All right. Simple. So this is the table that contains your users data, username, password. This is the encrypted password. Okay. So, and how do you create a user? It's like very simple. Just go here, click on this. You can create your own users. Let's say test, test, test. give proper names. Test, let's say test. Everything is test here. So just say okay. It's already there. Let's say demo. This name was already okay. I think it has stored the history in some table and it's not allowing. That's okay because that's fine. Let me give okay. So a user is created and if I refresh here I can see 44 again. So say repos user 44 and this is something that I just created, Sunil K, and the password Sunil K encrypted and the details dot dot dot. Okay, so that's how you create a user. And now let me log in with this user Sunil K, sorry, Sunil K, Sunil K. So when I log in, what do you see? You don't see any ORS. Do you see any ORS? All what you can see is master database. Okay, so how to fix this? How to see the ORS? To see the ORS, log back as admin, admin, master database, go to users, go to target database, and now let's say I want this new user Sunil K to access only ORS sample. So go ahead and say assign user and just say Sunil K and say OK. Right now if I log in with Sunil K, then here I go. Very simple, isn't it? There's nothing in here. And when I double click, I don't see anything here. Do I see? I don't see anything. Do you see? That can be fixed as well. So to fix that, go to admin. Admin is our main user, the administrator user. Now to fix that, go to tool access and go to Sunil K. Where is that? This one here. Take a lock. Then let's say Sunil is a data steward. So I want him to access only data steward. That's it. Just data steward. So if Sunil logs in now, so login, he can see only data steward. This is very simple business. Okay, there's nothing complicated, right? Now let's go back to admin. Admin. So that's what databases users can mean. And then you have password policy here, which is something that you can go through. I'm not going to explain this. Just minimum length, maximum length, dot dot dot. It's not at all important for you, except if you are an admin, then it's something important. But this is very simple. Hardly matters if it's important or not. Okay. Then tool access is something you've just seen. Now let's see the security providers. Security providers is a concept of external authentication. What exactly is external authentication? So external authentication basically means, let's say I have a person called as uh, John Smith. I have got John Smith. Okay, now John Smith, let's say, joins Accenture. Let's imagine he joins a company called as Accenture. So what happens is once the formalities are done, he will get an email ID, John Smith, let's say at the rate of accenture.com. So he will get an email ID that's called as enterprise ID. Simple, right? And a password. Let's say the password is something like this. Okay, so this is the user ID, this is the password. Now when John tries to log in, so in Accenture you will see that there will be somewhere around 70-80 portals. So there will be approximately 70-80 different portals where you can log in. Okay, uh, like HRMS portal, there is something like knowledge exchange portal, dot 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 dot. Many different portals will be there, right? So you will see that using this user ID password, you can log in into this portal, and all these 80 portals you can log in. That's a natural phenomenon, natural thing that happens. Okay, I'm just telling you that's how it works. If you go and join IBM also, it's the same thing. So how is this done? I mean, how is it possible that is this user ID password saved in all 80 portals? Is it? No, that's not the thing. What happens is when you try to log in into HRMS, the authentication is outsourced. Authentication is outsourced. So HRMS portal will not do the authentication. It will outsource it to something different, and this is called as external authentication. So we have separate softwares, let's say LDAP softwares. Okay, so LDAP or Microsoft AD or Cabebros, anything. There are separate softwares for that where you install. It's like a wallet. Seen a wallet where you keep your password or your money, let's say, just say. So it's the same thing. So you keep your password here, and so when someone tries to log in, it will redirect the check to here, and if succeeds, then it will say that okay, so this guy is good, let him in, let him enter. Okay, that's external authentication. So that can also be configured here. So if you try to configure, basically what we are trying to do here is, let's say I am John and I would like to use my Accenture email ID and the password, the enterprise password, to log in. Let's say I want that kind of feature. I don't want a user here. I want to use my own user, right? Then you use external authentication. Basically it's an admin site, but how that is done, it's very simple. Don't click on that. Now it's very simple. Basically how that is done is the LDAP will be configured by sysadmin, system administrator, and once he configures this, he will give you a jar file. This jar file you just need to upload in MDM. That's it. It's very simple. Once you upload the jar file, then external authentication is configured. But no need to worry, because normally in 99% of cases we don't use external authentication because that's not necessary. But even if it's used, it's not a big thing. So let's say if you have a jar file, just go here and say upload file. Just upload the jar file. Then the configuration is done. This jar file will be given by LDAP admin. LDAP admin, okay? Now you have something called as message queues. Message queues is basically, if you remember, while I was talking about the architecture, I have explained batch and real time. In real time, what I explained is you have source, then you have SIF, then you have MDM, then you have message queues, then you have target. So that's how the architecture works in real time. SIF is something we'll see what is SIF later. So SIF is inbound, message queues is outbound. So in reality, if you want to publish a message, we have to use this message queues. It's just like if you're hungry, right? Then you stand on a queue. If you're in office, let's say, you stand on a queue to get your lunch. So something like that, similar kind of concept here. We'll see this message queues separately because it's a separate topic. Repository manager is also a separate topic which will be covered in details later. But just a quick thing I'm telling. The repository manager is basically for code promotion. So if you want to promote code from one environment to another, then you use this. What do I what I'm trying to explain? Let's say I have development, then I have testing. In development, I have created a table called as C underscore party, and I have tested it, and I want to migrate that to testing. I want to migrate or promote. Promote is the proper word. Promote that to testing machine. So can that be done? Yes, you can do that. And that's done using the repository manager. Okay, that's done using the repository manager. Just 1 minute. Give me 1 second. Okay, fine. Okay, so that's what is done using repository manager. Migration, promotion of the code. You can validate it, you can promote it, you can export, import environments. Plus one additional thing we can do here. You can also uh, import data models from different tools. Like let's say you have an Irwin tool, Irwin data modeler tool. So you have created a data model in Irwin. You can import that to your MDM using this import option. Repository manager in details we'll see later. Not the That's not the objective now. Okay, then enterprise manager is basically it's not that interesting. It just gives you the configuration. So read only configuration. Okay, like okay, this is where my product is installed. Then my database is Oracle. My application server is JBoss, and the port dot 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 all these details, and details of my process servers, my master database details, ORS database. So every ORS database, what are the configurations and all that. So this is just a kind of read-only thing where you see the configuration, not much interesting. All these things will accept this repository manager. All these are admin activity except repository manager. Then you have see something called as workflow manager. Workflow manager comes into picture if you want to integrate active VOS with MDM. Active VOS is a BPM. What is that? BPM, business process management software. So it's a BPM software that can be integrated with MDM. to support approval process. This is again a long story, and this is related to IDD, Informatica Data Director. We will see that later. In the IDD session, we will see what is ActiveUS and how it is integrated. Okay, but basically try to understand that it's a separate software. So it's has nothing to do with MDM. It's a separate software. We integrate that thing with MDM for a purpose, that is for approval processes. Okay. So anyway, like this thing what we just covered, it's related to admin side. So you can give least focus. Just try it once, create users and all those things, and then just leave it. Your maximum focus would be on all these tabs below. Okay. Now, if I go to schema, then I need to change my ORS. Okay. Change the ORS. Let's say log into ORS sample. So the most important tab is schema. That's the most important tab. Why? Because it's like a very small word, schema, schema. But you will see that in this small thing, you can do almost everything. So you can create a base object, you can configure the columns, then history, match mode setup, validation rules, message trigger setup, all those things you can configure. So looks like a small option, but it is huge. You can also create the staging tables here, external match configuration. You can pretty much do most of the development activity in the schema. So schema we'll see in details later. Okay, I'm just giving a brief overview. So schema is something we'll see later. Okay. Yeah.
Sunil, one schema is nothing but one user in database.
No. This is a schema tab. That schema, this schema is different. Database schema is different. This is a schema tab. That's it. Okay. It's nothing to do with
Okay,
database schema. The name is
okay,
schema. That's it.
okay,
Here we can basically we can create a base object, landing table, and you can also create a staging table. So just understand this way that this is where you create the all different type of tables. And schema viewer is
okay,
something where you see the data model that you have created. So whatever data model you have created, that you can see here. And this is read only information, can't change anything. But if you want to see the relationship, just stop your mouse. It will show you the relationship. We'll see. We'll talk about this data model once this is done. And this configuration is about configuring the trust. So you have some idea what is trust. Trust will decide who will be the survivor. Okay. So it means that if I get John from here, 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 here. So I'm getting John from 4 different systems. Who will be the survivor? It will definitely be admin because it is 90. Simple logic, isn't it? The highest score is the survivor. And that something can be configured on your column level. Every column you can have different configuration. Then you have queries packages. Queries, what's queries? Queries are queries. I mean, like, see, query is something, it's nothing but just a database query. So what is a database query? Select, let's say, name, comma, party type from C underscore party. This is a query, isn't it? I can also give a condition and dot dot dot. So what is query here? It's the same thing. Clear? Same thing. No difference. Okay. Then we have something called as packages. What is packages? Packages are nothing but it's a view. So in database you have something like create view v underscore party. as this. So this is what is called as a view in your database. Same thing is called as package in MDM. So same thing. This is nothing but this. No difference. Absolutely no difference. The name is different, that's it, but no difference. Okay. Now the systems and trust, this thing will be configured by the developer. This is a lot of things are there. We will see how this is configured, who will be involved and all that. But mainly it is the data steward will provide you inputs on these codes, like which system should have more scores and more trustworthy. We'll see that. Okay. Queries, packages, then cleanse functions, mappings are related. Mapping is something you know. Mapping is something where you map the data from source to target. So what is source? What is target? Source is landing table. Target is staging table. Source is landing table. Target is staging table. And simply you map the data. That's the mapping. And when you are creating a mapping, you can do some cleansing here. So let's say if I want to add uppercase, let's say uppercase. So I will just say right click, add function, and go here, uppercase. So what I've done is just say right click, add function. When I say add function, it takes you to this tab, okay, to the cleanse function tab. When you say uh, add function, so you understood, right? Basically, this is your like, this is, if this is like a gun, then this is the bullet. So this will power your gun, something like that. So cleanse functions are used in a mapping. That's the story. We'll see them.
Sunil, where do you do the stage to target mapping? Under mapping or?
Stage to base object.
Yes, stage to base object.
Stage to base object you don't need to map. It's auto mapping.
Okay.
The when I say mapping in MDM, it's just one thing, that is from landing to base staging table. There is no other
Okay.
mapping. Okay. Everything else is a auto mapping. So you just need to run the job. So you just need to go here and there is a job, just run it. If you do it, it will move the data from staging to the base object. Okay, then you have SAM. SAM is nothing but security access manager. It's purely admin stuff, but I have reserved a separate topic for SAM. Okay, if you see the course
Sunil,
contents, yeah,
one question. Sunil, I know if you do like automatic from staging object to base. No, just now you mentioned if you run one job by default, it's going to mapping. It's based on column names or what it will consider.
based on column names.
That
You will
means in staging table and in the base object, the column name and data type should be matched.
correct. So this is base object. This is staging table. Okay. So you see how many columns are there. Just forget row ID object. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have got 11 columns in my base object. If I try to create a staging table, um, you can see it will show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So same 11 columns. You can choose all the columns or some columns, but it is, you can understand that these columns are taken from the base object. So that is
Okay.
why you don't need to create a mapping, because you will see the column name is same. So Informatica will automatically map it.
Okay.
So Sunil, it's like an reverse engineering.
It's there's nothing like reverse engineering. It is just forward engineering only. I mean, basically the column names are same, so it will just map it.
But like a configuration is like a reverse configuration, something like you can go from C to B, not B to C.
Yeah, you can say like Okay, so SAM we will see, but just I will tell you what is SAM. What do we do in SAM? Okay. What do we do in SAM is basically we configure access. For example, let's say I have two guys. I have um, John, I have Frank. Now let's say John has created a table called as party. Now I want Frank to access this table. I want Frank to access, change and do a lot of stuff on this table. By default he can't do it. So I need to go and give privileges to Frank so that he can access this thing. So that's where we use these three things. Role is something that you know probably already. It's like a, let's say, DBA role, very popular in databases. Something similar. We'll see this. Anyway, that's not the point now. And then we have data steward. In data steward, you know what is a data steward now. It's a role or it's a person. You will not see data stewards in like data warehousing projects. I mean, you will see, but their name will not be data stewards. But in MDM projects, in every MDM project, you will see there is something called as data steward, mandatory. And he will be in onshore, not offshore normally. And these are the things that he will use to perform, like manipulate things. For example, data manager is used to unmerge the data. What is it used for? Unmerge the data, manually unmerge the data. Merge manager is used to perform manual merges, manual merge. And hierarchy is used to view the hierarchy using this hierarchy manager. So for example, let's say I want to see a product hierarchy. So just go non-empty, search, select, then say fetch many hobs. In details we will see this later, not now. Okay, you can see this is the hierarchy of the product. Very simple to understand. Like probably I've given an example already, like iPhone 7s reports to iPhone 7, that reports to iPhone, that reports to Apple mobiles, that reports to Apple all products. This is the hierarchy of this particular product. Same thing here, different parts. So you are seeing the hierarchy, all products to all this and all that. Okay, now you are able to see this because it was configured here. All right, whatever you are seeing here is because it's configured here. If you don't configure it there, you can't see anything. Okay, so that's what basically hierarchies and hierarchy manager is. Okay, so that's the product hierarchy. Then you can have a like family hierarchy, you can have a customer hierarchy, you have a Cisco cloud company, let's say, that is reporting to Cisco because it's a part of Cisco. Okay, so they are hierarchical. That's what hierarchy means. Then you have batch viewer, batch group. Batch viewer is basically used to execute the jobs. Simple, isn't it? So let's say staging job, right click, execute, right click, execute, and I can check the results here, and you can see 78. Don't mind what is that number. I'm just showing you, like, to execute the jobs, you right click, execute. One thing is very simple here. One thing that is very simple here is you don't you don't need to take the pain of creating jobs. You don't have to create any job here. Just execute. That's it. So in, let's say, for example, if I'm comparing this with data stage, or let's say like um, power center. Okay, so if you, in that case, you need to create a job in workflow manager, then run it. That headache you don't have here. Informatica creates the job. You just run it. Okay. And this is where you create a group. So group is like this. You have a box with many items, again a box with 3 items, again a box with 7 items. So this is called as a workflow, something like a workflow, flow of work. And this, all the things that are there in the box will run in parallel. And once this box is done, it will kick off the second box. And then these 3 things will run in parallel. Once that is done, then next. Simple, isn't it? Okay. Then process server. Process server I will show you. For example, see, process server, I told you clearly that process server is nothing but cleanse match server, which is needed to execute the job. For example, let's say if I remove the process server, so now there is no process server, and if I go about I go here and try to test something, Sunil test, I'm getting a message. In details, if I check it, the available cleanse servers are not online. What's the message? It is telling me that I don't have a process server or a cleanse server. So I can fix that. Go here and say local host, that's where my cleanse server is, and save it. Now do the same thing. I'm getting the output. So
So Sunil,
yeah,
is it something like integration
yeah,
service
that's
that we
correct.
assign to workers?
It's exactly like the integration service in equivalent uh, thing is integration service in Power Center, which is used to execute the jobs, or DIS, data integration service for IDQ, does the same thing. Okay.
So can we create like an n number of process server or just the one?
You can create n number of process servers. To fasten things, you can create any number. You can create, let's say you have configured an install, you can configure here also.
So and during the job or during the process, do we need to select the
No,
server,
that's
which server to be used or something?
that's dynamic. You don't have to do anything. So Informatica will do that for you.
Okay.
That's load balancing. Load balancing is something Informatica will handle it.
And there is no like any other configurations like this process server will do only this kind of a job or this kind of a job, something like.
Yeah, job wise you can't configure, but you can configure on like online means real time, batch means batch. So on that thing you can configure. But job wise control that Informatica will take care. Then audit manager is basically for auditing. We'll see that later. Auditing means basically when someone inserts a record, so you audit it, means store it in a table and something like that for your just auditing purpose. And in SIF manager we have ORS specific SIF APIs, not that important, but we will see that. And this is related to this option, okay, message queues. So we'll see that. Then user exits are you need to put user exits here. Okay, so user exit is something like customization, and this is where Java bit of Java knowledge is necessary in the user exits to customize things, but it's simple only. And Java cleanse functions, but normally Java cleanse functions we don't use it that much, but user exit we use it. And these are like for backward compatibility, like stored procedures and custom buttons, those kind of things. Okay, so what you do is, I believe most of you have received the access, so try to explore this tool, check all these options, try to remember, practice and remember most of the things so that you're comfortable, because I'll not be again revisiting any of this option. We'll directly study them instead of just explaining. So, right. Then,
Sunil, I did not got the access. I sent the request. I did not got the access yet.
okay, you sent for approval.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sunil, me too also didn't get access.
Okay, you say
Can you again show?
you should have sent an email, so then I would have checked it.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yes,
get
yes,
it.
yes. Saturday
I
I mean,
didn't get
Saturday I have
Samir,
sent an email.
the same thing. I sent requests too for
I
access.
just got one request. NP means Nitin Patel. So yeah, I just got one request. I didn't get anything else. So you except Nitin, I don't think anyone has sent me. Okay, so what you need to
Can
do
you?
here is you just go here and go to here network and say join an existing network and give the details here. Then click on join. Then it will throw you a message. Just yes. Say yes, then yes. Enter. Then the message I will get the request.
Sunil, your network ID and password is RID or you have given into document
I
that
have,
ID?
it's there in this document, readme.txt.
Okay,
Okay.
like is 361845021.
Yeah. So that's the network ID. So give that network ID and password, then you are connected. Okay.
So in my case, I'm talking about the email I received where I double click to get into this thing. It won't let me. So I sent you an email. Well, I think they'll
Okay,
send you an email.
you send me, I have shared my mail ID. You send me for all communications, use this mail ID, okay? Don't use any other mail ID. So I will reply
Okay,
instantly if you send me here. For any communication, send me mail to here, always. Okay.
And Sunil, I also send you the email for installations files, the old installation.
Hold 1 minute. I will see. For installation, 1 second. I'll just tell you. I'll give you the link. You can. It's already there in YouTube. So 1, 2. You can see 4 videos.
Yeah,
1, 2.
yeah, I seen that. I seen that, but I need the installation files.
Installation files I've shared, right? Okay, 1 minute.
No, it's
Yeah,
not there.
please send me the like 9.5.1
9.1.
MDM-5. Yes, sorry, 9.1 version. So that we can install in our local systems.
I think it's a 9.6 or 9.1.
No, 9.1. 9.1.
Okay.
Okay, I will share it. I'll share this. Okay.
Yes.
Sunil, when I tried to join the network, it is giving that login error, like sign up or the sign in to continue using the Hamachi.
Yeah, you didn't, you just directly clicked on join network. Don't do that. First it'll ask you a user ID password, then you need to join. So that is specified here. So first you need to give this detail and this password, then
Yes.
you join the network.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. It's very
Still
simple.
one doubt.
Yeah.
After installing JRE, what I need to do in order to send request to you?
No,
Network request.
just join the network. I'll get a request. When you try to join a network, I'll get a request. So just go and say join
Ah,
network.
it's where exactly? Could you show me once, please?
In this Hamachi, join an existing.
I need to log into Hamachi.
Install Hamachi.
Okay, I installed Hamachi and JRE. After that,
After you installed Hamachi, just say join an existing network.
okay, where it's available in uh,
You can see right
Hamachi.
my screen. I mean, I'm just showing in Hamachi network, join an existing network.
Okay, how to log into Hamachi? That's what I'm.
Hamachi don't need to log in, it just install it. Then
Okay,
you log.
by default. By default, if you install, no,
By
yeah,
default, when
just I'm
you install, then you won't see any networks. Then you
okay.
just need to say
Okay,
join.
okay. I got it now. It was in offline. Thank you. Thank you for installing Hamachi. Please click on the power button
Yeah,
to
click on the
power
power
on to
button.
get.
First click on the power button and then give this details. So info MDM this and these two details. Once done, then join the network.
Where is power button? Click on power button. Miss.
There will be one button like this one, this button.
Okay, 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 okay. Got it.
Then
Sunil, I just I'm sending like one request because it was still my system is in Windows 7. I'll revert back to Windows sorry Windows 10 now. I'll revert back to Windows 7. Once again I'll send the request, Sunil,
okay, okay. You
if
can
you don't
access it
mind.
in Windows 10 itself, no problem.
Yeah, because I'll access first 2 to 3 days, but I'll revert back to Windows 7
Okay,
maybe today or tomorrow. Again, I'll send the request to me.
okay, okay, fine.
Okay,
Sunil,
fine.
Yeah,
Sunil, I just send you an email. Please, could you reply to that?
yeah,
Just copy paste the link that you sent to Nitin. Just copy paste that to me too.
yeah. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, guys, right. So you try to configure.
And Sunil, did you share the link for installation?
No, no, I will share it after the class.
Okay, okay, I got you, I got you.
Okay. Okay, guys, then we'll finish the session. Tomorrow we'll start with data modeling. Okay, thanks.
Thanks.